happening right now, and we ask that it be revealed to us what it is that we came to learn from in this lifetime. Why did we come here now? What did we come to learn? What did we come to offer and contribute in ways of our beingness? And so that we may work in collective consciousness with the life, the blood life, the flow of life, the consciousness of life, so that we may be a part of the greater whole. What is our reason? What is our why? So we take a few moments today to meditate on that question and to learn more about who we are and why we're here. So let's take a moment to allow our meditation to begin. So maintaining this consciousness for just a moment longer, we come back into present moment awareness, grateful for the time to have the meditation that we just enjoyed, with a new awareness of the information that you just gathered and collected during your meditation, and a new understanding of why you are here and what is your unique purpose to provide to the earth and to all of mankind at this time. Again, we are grateful to have the opportunity to go within anytime that we choose and get those answers and get those feelings and those guidances and those directions, knowing that at all times we are always guided, guarded, directed, and protected. And so we are grateful for today's meditation. And we know that in the service today, you will be served beautifully and perfectly. And you are guided to be here to hear what is yours to hear for today. Thank you so much for joining us today, and enjoy the service.
Good morning, Amani. Let's all just take a breath, receive that clean air in as we come to this space and time for us and for the Amani Center. So now if you will stand wherever you are in our gathering space, on the patio, in your own patio, stand and let's sing together.
All the colors of the rainbow, all the voices in the wind, every dream that reaches out reaches out to find where love begins. Every word of every story, every star in every sky, every corner of creation lives to testify. For as long as I shall live, I will testify to love, be a witness in the silence when words are not enough. With every breath I take, I give thanks to God within. For as long as I shall live, I will testify love. From the mountains to the valleys, from the rivers to the sea, every hand that reaches out, every hand that reaches out to offer peace, and every simple act of mercy, every step to kingdom come, all the hope in every heart that speaks what love has done. For as long as I shall live, I will testify to love, be a witness in the silence when the words are not enough. With every breath I take, I give thanks to God within. For as long as I shall live, I will testify. I will testify to love. For as long as I shall live, I will testify to love. Be a witness in the silence when the words are not enough. With every breath I take, I give thanks to God within. For as long as I shall live, I will testify to love. For as long as I shall live, I will testify to love. Be a witness in the silence when the words are not enough. With every breath I take, I give thanks to God within. For as long as I shall live, I will testify. I will testify to love.
Thank you, Ascension. And thank you, everyone, for joining us today at the Amani Center. It's wonderful to have people back in our space. Hello out on the patio. Great to see you guys. And everyone joining us virtually. We're so grateful that you're here and part of our Amani community. Yesterday, we had a really fun event here in our patio and in our parking lot. I'd like to give a special thank you to the Keep On Trucking Band, who was here live, playing awesome music. There was dancing. It was amazing, an amazing event. And also to Allison Tomei, who brought her beautiful art and showed it. And you'll see if you're here in the space today, a lot of that art is up in the space. So take a chance to take a look at it. It's so beautiful. Maybe something's calling you to take it home. And we also had a big book swap, so we had a ton of books that people brought that they had read already. We'll have a used book sale going on probably for quite a while in our bookshop. So if you're looking for any books, it will probably just be a love donation, but love to see those regenerating, moving, recycling, removing in the community. So a lot of wonderful high vibrational information there. So thank you everyone who participated, all our volunteers, everyone who helped clean up, set up. Kathy Clark Amos, can't do anything without you anymore. Thank you so much. We've become completely dependent on you, so thank you. And just thank you all for being here, for joining us. I would like to start our service with our vision statement. We're going to bring that up on a screen if you're at home, and here we have it on our big screen, and we like to say it aloud. So please join me as we speak it. We are an inclusive spiritual community dedicated to raising consciousness and transforming lives. And so it's simple, and it is exactly what we are about here at the Amani Center. It's important work, and if you're here right now, then you are part of this purpose. So thank you for showing up. And another thing that we do, one of the ways that we do effect this change in the world is with spiritual mind treatment, affirmative prayer, And we have a team of practitioners and ministers who are here to do that work with and for you. We call it our Circle of Light, and it is a powerful group of people. So if you need treatment, if you need an affirmative prayer, if you need someone to remind you of the truth of who you are and what is going on in your life, if you would like to manifest something amazing, bring that into your life, if there's something you want to release, something you want to let go of, or just if you want to be in gratitude, it is always a good time to pray. We are here and available. There will be a practitioner and our ministerial intern, Mitch Austin, available to treat with you after service today up here on the altar or out on the patio. If there's any other practitioners, would you just raise your hand or stand up? Got Tammy waving her hands big out on the patio. We're here, and that is our great joy, our great way to serve is to treat with you. So please don't leave with a heavy heart or with something that you feel you need to speak. We would love to join you and do that. You can also, for those of you who are not here in the space, you can reach out via email, admin@theamanicenter.org. You can call us, and we will contact you. We can do it via the phone, via text, email, video chat, whatever works for you. We would love to have that experience with you, so do reach out. Okay, now we'll take a few minutes and go through our announcements so I can tell you what's going on here at the Amani Center. This is our schedule for the rest of April. April's theme is Honoring the Elements, Earth. And so we have a lot of stuff going on this month. Today we have our wonderful ministerial intern, Mitch Austin, speaking, always a crowd favorite. And next week we have Yuli Rodriguez, who is also a wonderful speaker, and a special guest artist, Gary Lynn Floyd, will be coming to us virtually. So next week, for those of you who are in the space, we will be showing we're pre-recording that service since we're bringing Gary and Yuli in virtually. So if you would like to come and watch in person, we will do that here, we'll play it. But there won't be live music that week, but we can still come together and do it together. Otherwise, you can watch it on the live stream, whatever works for you. And there's a picture of the wonderful Gary Lynn Floyd. His music is just amazing. It's all over the place, so look him up if you haven't heard him. I know we've had him here before, and we've had his music, and it's just beautiful. Okay, and so next, we have Earth Day this week, and so Kelly Webb will be doing a Qigong, special Qigong. This is actually our second annual Qigong Earth Day session. And this year, we get to do it out on the patio. So, but we will also do it via live on Facebook. So you can join virtually on Facebook, or you can show up here on the Amani patio. That is free. Everybody is welcome, and it is appropriate for everyone. If you need to do it from a chair, you can do it from a chair, but it'll be a lovely experience. So we will see you on the 22nd for that at noon. And then we have a great workshop next week with ministerial intern Mitch Austin. It is called Taming Your Inner Critic. And, I didn't ask, but Mitch, you want to talk about this for a second, just so people know?
Oh, here we go. Now, this is the hardest part of speaking right here. You saw it. There we go.
Try adding some earrings.
Woo! I'm going to make it. My inner critic was really loud that moment right there. So we know we all have this inner judge, that voice, the committee, right? And sometimes it gets really loud and it stops us from showing up as our best, right? It can steal our dreams. It can keep our brilliance hidden. And what I love about this workshop is that if you can get past your inner critic to come to the workshop, you're going to learn that there are 7 types of inner critic. We do a little test around this, so you're going to find out your specific type and how to find the pause button for it. Yes? Amen. And how to get past it. So we're going to have a lot of fun. We laugh a lot. We're very lighthearted around this, but it is deep work. And I hope you can join us. If you want to bring some cider or some wine, I have these great little glasses with a Taming Your Inner Critic on it. We're going to have a good time. And we're going to have the power of community to help us get past our inner critic. So I hope you can join us. Thank you.
Thank you, Mitch. So that will be here on the patio, and if there's anyone who wants to join us virtually, we will set up a Zoom link as well. So, and there should be links dropping for that right now that Kristen is doing, and we'll post it on Facebook later. If there's anything you see that you want to sign up for and you have trouble signing up, just give us a call or email us at admin@theamanicenter.org, and we'll send you that link to sign up. All right, so we've got some new classes that will be starting at the end of this month. Spiritual Economics is another year 2 accredited course. It's open to everyone. Angie Gann will be teaching this beginning April 26th, and it will be 6:30 to 9:30 for 6 weeks. So that's an awesome class, awesome chance to start doing some good work in your life, particularly in the economics, the flow of your life, what's coming in, what's going out, and how do you feel about that? How is that working in your life? So sign up for Spiritual Economics. We also have Soul Quest coming, and so I mentioned Allison Tomei, who was here with all of her artwork yesterday. She will be leading this amazing 6-week workshop class, chance to have an adventure in art. And so she'll be doing that here at Amani, and she will do that virtually as well. Links dropping. That's a great chance to play with art, with paint, visioning, music, all kinds of stuff. I've taken this before. It's so fun. It's just really a great opportunity to try something, maybe some creativity that you haven't been really experiencing in your life enough. So sign up for Soul Quest. And then we also have Bob Sima and Shannon Plumer. We had pushed their workshop back, so that will be Friday, May 7th, and that will be virtual. There's going to be music and visioning, and if you enjoyed them when they were here last month, don't miss this. It's going to be a wonderful experience. Links should be dropping for that as well. And another new class that will be beginning in May on the 13th with Reverend Pixie Dufour is The Power of Now. So that's the next class in the year 1 group of classes. This is a powerful one, guys. This is an amazing class based on Eckhart Tolle's book, The Power of Now. Again, open to anyone, 6 weeks. We have a sliding scale set up for these so that hopefully nothing will keep you from taking this if you're called to take it. And we also have scholarships available. So we have volunteer opportunities. So if you're being called to take any of this, please don't let money or something else stop you. Listen to that voice and step into this. You will not be sorry. And what else do we have going on? I guess that's it. So that's kind of what's going on at the Amani Center. Sign up for the things that call to you. And now let's take a moment and bless the service. So just receiving a cleansing breath in. Allow your eyes to close if that feels comfortable. And become fully present in this moment. This is your time. This is our time. This is for us to center, be present, and receive the gifts that are being brought to us today through the music, through the message, through community, through just being in this space and connecting with each other. If you are here in the space or if you are tuning in, there's a reason. And I'm just so glad that you listened. And so now give yourself this gift of presence, knowing that there is only one power, one divine energy. It is flowing through each and every one of us right now and always. It flows through this space. It surrounds the world in a loving embrace, supporting, guiding, holding you when you need to be held. And it's just saying to us right now, all is well. No matter what the appearance is on the outside. And things can look strange right now. There's some weird things going on. There's a lot of transformation happening on the planet right now. And so that can make us feel a little out of sorts, a little twisted, a little uncomfortable, and that's okay. That's part of it too. So just know that all is well, and that you are well, and that you are part of this grand unfoldment of energy and progress and transformation to the better, to the greater, to the best for all of us. So just breathe and know it is all unfolding divinely. You are right where you need to be. And that is true for each and every one of us. And so I am so grateful for this truth. I am so grateful for the Amani Center bringing this place for us to come together and to know the truth and to be part of the good work that is being done now. And I am grateful for each and every one of you bringing your light, shining it, being brave, being open, being vulnerable, stepping into the discomfort and knowing that all is well. Feel that. All is well. And so I release my word. I release it into the law. I know that as I speak it, as I focus my mind on the truth, it is all done. It is all unfolding, just how it's meant to. And this is true for all of us. And together we say, and so it is. And now we'll bring up our practitioner of the day, Kathy Wilson, to do our affirmation.
Good morning. Today's affirmation is brought to you by Mitch Austin. Yay. So we'll say it 3 times. First time with enthusiasm and energy. The second time quietly. To yourself the third time. And listen to the words as I speak them. Let's begin. Today, I choose to give the world the best of me whenever I find myself, no matter what. Today, I choose to give the world the best of me wherever I find myself, no matter what. Today, I choose to give the world the best of me wherever I find myself, no matter what. And so it is. All right.
You are the heart, you are the hands, you are the voice of spirit on earth. And who you are and all you do is a blessing to the world. We are the heart, we are the hands, we are the voice of spirit on earth. And all we are and all we do is a blessing to the world.
Now it's time for our meditation. So I invite you to get comfortable. Clear your mind of any thoughts or anxiousness, possibly the chaos of getting here. I invite you to relax. Breathe deep, taking in the energy of spirit and breathing out any tension or muscle tension. It is time to commune. Commune with that God within. See yourself in a white, protective, love-filled bubble, floating in the air, above the earth, looking around, seeing the clouds and the sky, the birds flying. And you relate to this because you know that with Source, you are safe and expanded and growing. Take these thoughts into your meditation. Enjoy. Let us now meditate on a healing. Maybe it's someone that you know that needs a healing, physical, mental, or spiritually. Maybe it's yourself. Maybe it's a condition or a situation. Surround it in love. That person, that situation, that condition. And absolutely know that in God, anything and everything is possible. Perfection, total health, strength and courage to expand and move away from the condition, the sadness. See yourself as that white, bright light for that person or that situation, because you are the I am. there is a power and presence, one mind, the creator of all that there is, everything and everywhere. And we are the physical manifestations of that power, of that presence. We are the energy, the light, the courage, the expansion of consciousness. We are one with this power and presence. Always. There is no place where God is not. And as we go forth in our day, we are divinely guided to the next higher step, the next level of consciousness, the very next thing to do for our highest and very best good. Because the universe is filled with goodness and unconditional love. It is the strength and the weakness. It is the courage and the sadness. It is everything, all things. And we know absolutely that as we connect to this presence, there is nothing we can't do. Feel the peace, the acceptance. Open your heart, open your mind, and be receiving of that inspiration from Source, from the presence. I am in great appreciation for this. I give thanks to God, to you, to everything. And I release my word into the universal law that can only say, yes, it is so. It is done. Thank you, Spirit. Thank you, God. And together we say, and so it is.
So it is. This Church of the Earth. Your soul rise up to the angels who teach you to fly. When you're weary of clouds, it helps you back down and welcomes you home to this hallowed ground. It's gilded in gold, gilded in rust, for heaven below, heaven above. The heaven we know here in this world, here in the holy Church of the Earth, Church of the Earth. The windows are wide, so darkness and light, mystery and beauty meet you inside. And there's room enough to hold all of us who gather in friendship, who gather in love. It's gilded in gold, gilded in rust, for heaven below and heaven above. Heaven we know is here in this world, here in this holy church of the earth, church of the earth, church of life, ancient and bright, life that inside us shines, life that we share. This is our prayer, that we will always find this heaven we seek. It's here at our feet, and here in this sunrise, and in this heartbeat. It's gilded in gold and gilded in rust, for heaven below and heaven above. The heaven we know is here in this world, here in the holy church of the earth, church of the earth.
Wow, that was beautiful. Thank you, Laureen. Thank you, Ascension. Oh, did you feel that? Yeah. So now it is my pleasure and my honor to introduce today's speaker, our wonderful ministerial intern, Mitch Austin. We are just so grateful that Mitch joined us here at the Amani Center. It's been a few years, but boy, we were really seeking to bring in his energy, and he showed up so beautifully. We're so grateful for him. Mitch Austin.
Thank you, thank you, thank you. God, so good to be with you this morning, Amani Center. Look at us. We're here, we're on the patio, we're online. So if you're joining us for the first time, the Amani Center, it means love. The word Amani means love. And we're the church of the earth. We're the church of love. So no matter where you are on your spiritual path, maybe you're agnostic, maybe you're still figuring it out, you're welcome here. There's no judgment here. And I want you to know that. As we talk about spirit and God, you're just invited to take those concepts in where it meets you. And I don't know who that's for today, but I was guided to share that. So welcome if you're here for the first time. And welcome everybody else who's made it to this talk today. You know, I love to kind of talk about my experiences when I put together a message. And the title of today's talk is Bloom Where You're Planted. Bloom Where You're Planted. And, you know, I think God had a little sense of humor with me around this, because last night I was trying to finish up the talk, and my neighbors up above decided to have a party. Complete with rap music, boom, 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 and I even got to smell the party coming through. And I'm like, really, God? Really? I guess I'll be blooming right here. I don't know what kind of talk this is going to be, because I might be under the influence. So I get to bloom right there with the rap music. And of course, my dogs were arguing. You know, it was great. God threw in everything. So I came up with this talk title, and my inspiration was this. Anybody ever use Dr. Bronner's Castile soap? Anybody? We got some Dr. Bronner's? Yeah, if you're a fan of this, you're a real fan. And it does everything. It doesn't just clean your body. Like, I found out you could wash your dog with this. You can do your floors. And I was in the bathtub. Seems like whenever I'm in water, like I have these spiritual downloads. Anyone? Like the shower is a holy vestibule of truth. And I was called to a particular part on this bottle that talks about Emanuel Bronner. So Emanuel Bronner, he was born, I believe, in the 1930s, and he lived in Germany during World War II. And his parents, unfortunately, were sent to Auschwitz, and they didn't make it through the war. He did. And his family, they were soap makers. That's where he learned soap making. And he actually decided to give himself the title doctor. There's no thing behind that. And then it kind of tells you who he was. And he came to America, and he was on fire about his faith, about his worldviews, about this idea that we're on an earth ship, and we got to take care of each other. We got to take care of this world. And he would go out into the plaza, and he would start just talking, giving the message. And he had radical ideas about how to do this. And people would come, but they wouldn't really listen. But here's what they would do. They would buy his soap. He had good soap. They didn't know about his message. You know, you got to realize this back in the 50s. You try to use the word earth chip, you've just lost everybody, right? But they would buy his soap. And what he realized was, they're buying my soap. What if I put my messages on the soap bottles? That's what he decided to do. And so he had this vision that he could start to change the world with this energy and vision by putting his messages on the soap bottles that would go all over the world, and people would start to read them. I read them. And so over the years, he put different things on there for healing, for oneness, for peace. And now this soap bottles have been around for over 70 years. His sons actually took up the business. So at one point, you'd pick up these bottles before recycling was cool. It was talking about recycling. Hey, don't just throw that stuff out. Compost, right? Had all kinds of ways to recycle. Then before cannabis was legal in a lot of spaces, it talked about the healing properties of hemp and cannabis. And now what he's got on it, and it says heal soul. He's got all kinds of alternative approaches to heal depression, PTSD, addiction. And the messages keep going. See, to me, he was an example of blooming right where he was planted. From Germany, here in America, makes soap. He could have just said, I'm just a soap maker. What can I do? He could have said, nobody's listening to my talks. Why am I even bothering? Nobody's ever going to get it, right? He could have let those narratives dampen his light and not bloom what was in his heart to give. He's a beautiful example, I think, of blooming where you're planted. And when I read this, I felt inspired. I said, we got to talk about this. We got to talk about this. Because there's nothing he possesses that each and every one of us does not possess, which is that spark of the divine. There's something in each and every heart that's seeking to be born through us, a bloom of our own making that is perfect to come through you and no one else. I couldn't do this. It wasn't my lane. It was his. You know, that God shine within us, we can bring it to anything. The circumstance, the stage, the condition is only the container. It's the assignment to the place that we were sent to shine, to bring that light. You know, I have a friend right now. He was a youth and family minister at a New Thought church. And unfortunately, due to COVID, they cut his hours. They cut him all the way back. He had a full-time to 10 hours a month. And he'd done this for 10 years. And he had a hard decision to make because he loved this work. But he couldn't He couldn't pursue his own dreams. He couldn't take care of himself in a way that was self-honoring. So he made the hard choice to go back to real estate. And he had done that before he moved into this line of work. He didn't really particularly enjoy it, real estate, before. So he made a decision to take everything that he had learned and been doing when he was in youth ministry and bring it into real estate. And he said, it's a completely different experience. He said he's finding things to enjoy and love about real estate he never even knew was there, because he was bringing himself, his shine, his gifts, his vision, kind of like Dr. Bronner's messages on soap, right? Going beyond that container and making it something new in his experience. So we're going to talk about how to do that today, because we know, right? Bloom where you're planted, but we know the subtext is life's an inside-out job. That's a spiritual principle. That's the spiritual principle that we're working with. And so we can bloom no matter what our circumstances are. You know, a lot of times I hear people say their excuse not to do the thing that they're being called to do or to bloom is, you know, the time isn't right. The time isn't right. Or I'll get around to it. You know, I'll get around to it. I saw a little picture of around to it once. I said, I'll get around to it. Yeah. Or I can't afford it. I can't afford to do that, right? So these kind of memes sometimes, or at work, you know, or with your volunteering, you know, well, they don't let us do that here, you know. This is where I end, right here. I'm not going to give any more. You know, I've punched my time clock. That's it. That's all I'm going to give. And we keep that extra good stuff hidden. Or maybe it's culture. In our culture, we just don't believe. You know, some cultures believe women shouldn't be seen and use their voices and be bosses or leaders, you know. So we got to find a way to expand beyond some of these things that would keep us down. You know, and in my research around this topic, and there's a lot of good stuff out on this, I found a great TED Talk by Usman Rias. Usman Rias. Now, Usman is in Pakistan. He's from Pakistan, and he grew up loving animation. He would watch all the Japanese animation, and he would draw it like crazy. And then he would try to research it online. I mean, he had all this self-taught things that he did because there were no classes in Pakistan. There is no animation industry in Pakistan. But that didn't stop him. And in fact, we know how powerful this intention is, right? When we start getting in the flow, when we move our feet anyhow, no matter what, doors start opening. He met some of the greatest animation artists in the world. And then he had an idea. He had a vision to start an animation studio in Pakistan, where there is none. And the culture in Pakistan believes you should be a doctor, a dentist, right? They have a very rigid view of what a respectable means for your career is. It's not animation. But that didn't stop him. So he said, I'm going to start a studio and I'm going to do a Kickstarter project. And he goes, okay, if I can just get $50,000. He didn't get $50,000. He got $116,000. And not only that, people around him started confessing their love for animation. One doctor said, yeah, I wanted to do that, but, you know, I had to be a doctor. And he's like, well, come join my studio. She quit being a doctor. And then the dentist, same thing. You know, even the janitor that was cleaning the building, he was leaving around drawings. He was too embarrassed to say, I want to do this. And now he's doing it. And he has a group of people in Pakistan that have formed the Mano Animations Studio, and they're working on their first project. Isn't that beautiful? And here's what he says about this, and I think this is the powerful part. He said, you know, a lot of people leave Pakistan to pursue their dreams when the thing they want isn't there. He said, but I didn't want to have to do that. And I didn't want others to have to do that. So he decided to bloom right there in Pakistan and create an animation studio. And now he's a TED Talk speaker, so go Google him. You're going to see the preview of their first animation. See, that's the power. That's the power of following what we're being pulled to do where we're at. But a lot of times those excuses want to get in the way, right? We can either have our excuses and limiting beliefs, or we can have the experience of blooming, but you really can't have both. You're going to have to decide. And a lot of times the limiting factor is, well, it's hard. It's hard to be vulnerable like that, or go out on a limb, or look weird putting messages on a soap bottle, right? We don't like to be different. We feel vulnerable. We feel like we could be judged, and that's hard. You know what else is hard? Looking back over your life going, I wish I would have done that. I wish I would have taken more risks. I wish I would have let my light shine. I wish I wouldn't let those people at work make me small. Because shining is hard and not shining is hard. Choose your heart. Choose your heart. A lot of life is about those decisions. And we all know in consciousness, because it's an inside-out job, what we choose, not the circumstances, what we choose is what makes the difference. And unless we choose, if we keep choosing small, if we keep choosing not to shine, if we keep holding on to our love and our good and our smiles and our compliments, we start to feel pain and discomfort. Not because of what's around us, but for what we're not allowing our heart to express. That's the pain we're feeling. And there's no reason to save it. You know, author Annis Nin puts it this way. She says, and the day came when the risk to remain tight in a bud was more painful than the risk to blossom. So you're going to bloom now, or you're going to bloom later. You're going to bloom now, or you're going to bloom later. And I'm going to encourage you to pick now, right this moment. Right now in your consciousness, to think of a place or a space where you have not been shining, where you've been holding back, where you've had some stories of judgment. Now is the time. Now is the time to pursue a dream, even if it's a small act. It has power in it. And the reason I say now is the time, because you don't know what your time frame is. None of us do. You know, the Buddha says the problem is you think you have time. And all you have is this moment. So I want you to breathe this question in and allow it to settle into your heart and your spirit. What has the world lost in its experience of you because you have not bloomed where you are at right now? What has the world lost in its experience of you because you have not bloomed where you are at right now? Your love, your brilliant ideas, your genius, your kindness, your generosity, your gifts. You might be feeling a little discontent right now, going, yeah, I've held back in some spaces. I've had some judgment, maybe about my boss, my partner, myself. And I want you to hold on to any discontent you're feeling. I don't want you to run away from it. That's what we do, right? We go to the internet, eat some food. And I want you to now use that discontent as energy, as alchemy, right? To step in to another consciousness and invest that discomfort into action in your mind and your heart. I will choose to bloom. I know life is an inside-out job, and I will work on my perspective to bring about those fruits. Because if we don't change our perspective, it doesn't matter where we go or what we do. We get the same result out here. right? Everywhere we go, there we are. Anybody ever heard that? Everywhere you go, there you are. I had this experience when I was a manager in recreation and I had taken a new job and I had all these plans and visions. Yeah, my staff, not so much. And I was very ambitious and smart. And I knew a lot, I did. Trouble was, I really wasn't meeting my staff where they were. I just drug them along. I didn't like that. And every day when I went to work, I'm like, oh, God, I have to deal with my staff again. And then I'd show up and they're like, oh, God, there he is. And then they did the ultimate betrayal. They'd go into my supervisor and throw me under the bus. I'm like, I got to get out of this place. I got to find my people. Anybody ever say that? I got to get out of this place. I got to go find my people. So I left. I went from San Bruno to Davis, found my people. 2 years later, same problem. My staff were at my bosses throwing me under the bus. And I said, what's the common denominator here? Oh, I didn't change my consciousness. Same person, different environment, same result. So for us to really bloom, we've got to step in to a different consciousness where we're at. So whatever we're not enjoying, whatever is not working for us, we can't keep telling those stories, right? This place doesn't know what they're doing. If they only, took my advice, things would run better. I've said that a million times, right? If my partner only just helped around the house, how would I really help our relationship, right? We tell these things, and then we show up a certain way, right? Yeah. Did you do the dishes? Did you load the dishwasher? Right? You know what I'm talking about. That's not blooming, people. So I'm going to give you 3 strategies to start to shift that energy in your perspective. And the first one is stop resisting what is. Because when we resist a condition, we call it into our experience. My boss always criticizes me. He's always talking about me. He's always talking about me. And guess what you get more of? More of that. Because that's all you're seeing. That resistance energetically locks in the condition. You ever have an argument with somebody and you just stopped arguing? What happened to the argument? It went away. It can't exist because you weren't resisting. Same thing energetically with these things in our environment. So I'm going to invite you to stop resisting. The second thing is to look for something to be grateful for. Gratitude is generative, right? It's going to start giving you that energy. And the third thing is, this is my favorite one, bring the good. If you're not experiencing good in your work environment, bring it. If you're not experiencing good in your relationships, bring it. If you're not experiencing good with your relationship with yourself, bring it. Because we are the hands, we are the heart, we are the voice. Like the chant said, that's what we are of God. If we don't bring it, God ain't going to show up in our experience. Yes? Amen. So resistance to what is causes its own kind of pain. Anybody ever have that? To resistance to what is creates its own kind of pain. And what happens is it's easy to get hooked by a condition, really hooked. I've done that. I remember once I had a conversation for 2 days with one person that I had this disagreement with, and for 2 days I was still having a conversation with him in my head because I was hooked. I wanted it to be different, but it wasn't going to be different, right? And what we need to realize is that there's a consciousness underneath it all. That's where our work is, not in the resistance. Neville Goddard, a mystic and great teacher, puts it this way. He says, the reason men, and I'm going to put women in this, the reason men, women condition their desire is because they constantly judge after the appearance of being and seeing the things as real, forgetting that there is the only reality is the consciousness behind them, right? The consciousness behind them. And you know who's really good at teaching this stuff? Esther and Jerry Hicks, yeah? They're always saying, get out of resistance. Get out of your own way. Step into the flow. They actually use an energetic approach to this, where you stop resisting what is, and then you start to put your attention on the ease, on the flow, on the good, on the gratitude. And then things just start to happen. They start to work out. They start to work in a way they didn't work before. The second strategy is gratitude, attitude of gratitude. It's my favorite spiritual tool. I call it spiritual Drano. It just cleans out anything. And I had this experience of it because, I've been living these principles. I'd like to put them into action and then report back. And so I worked for an agency, and I had to do some employee files. We're having a big audit, huge, like a lot of pressure. And I noticed that the files, well, there's some problems. Somebody got some dates wrong, So I'm running around trying to fix it all for days and days. And I kept thinking, why isn't my boss in here? Like, doesn't she care that I'm working hard? Like isn't she, where's my, right? I was having a little judgment about that. I thought, well, where can I bring gratitude to this? And I thought, well, you know what? She's not telling me what to do. That's a good thing. I get space to do my work. And as soon as I stepped into that, I had a different realization. I then thought, she's only in the offices of people that she's worried about something. She wasn't in my office because she wasn't worried. She knew I had it. And all of a sudden I'm like, oh, I'm feeling good. Like, that's a great compliment, right? But I would have never seen it if I stayed in the, where's my, hey, right? Never would have seen it. So this is the powerful shift that gratitude can bring. And the third strategy is bring the good. Bring the good. I was having, when I came up with this talk title a while ago, I noticed I was having a lot of funky days at work. You know what I mean? Like, I don't want to be here. Nobody appreciates me, right? And I thought, oh, this is not very bloomy attitude, is it? And then I thought, well, what's a principle of this bloom where you're planted? I thought, well, bringing the good. Bringing the good. That's a bloom. So I'm going to bring the good. So I decided that day, no matter what, I was going to bring the good. So I thought, well, how can I do that? Well, I'm going to tell people how wonderful they are. So I bumped into one of the coordinators. I said, I really like how positive you are and how you greet me every morning. He's like, oh, I like you too. And then the social worker's paper came out on the copier. Instead of leaving it there, I brought it in, and I'm like, I always like how you're always giving me reports on time. Thank you for that. And she's like beaming. Her eyes are bright. She's smiling. And then I'm like, ooh, who else can I find? Because I was bringing the good, and all of a sudden that good that I was bringing was in me. And that was my experience, and I was blooming. See, that's the power of this work. It changes us. It changes our environment. So I invite you to bloom where you're planted. It's not an accident that you are where you are. It is your divine assignment. It is your little corner of the world to bring the light that is within you to shine. And if we all did that in every corner, we would light up the world. So I invite you to bring the good. Drop 1-0 and just bring the God. And every aspect of it. And see how you start to bloom, how that bloom that you created makes all the difference. And I want to leave you with this beautiful little story. I love stories, so you get to hear them all. It kind of brings us all home in a fun way. An ancient legend tells of a king who walked into his garden one day to find almost everything was withered and dying. After speaking to the oak near the gate, the king learned that he was troubled because he was not as tall and as beautiful as the pine. The pine overheard their discussion and added that she too was upset because she could not bear delicious fruit like the pear tree. And the pear tree overheard his name and said, he began to complain that he didn't have the lovely odor of the spruce. And so it went throughout the garden. Near the very edge of the garden grew a little daisy. The king approached. He noticed that her bright little face was full of life. Well, little flower, the king said, I'm glad to find that there is at least one happy face in my garden. "O king," she said, I know I'm little and not many people notice me, but one day I realized that if you planted me here, you must have had a good reason. So, Your Majesty, I've determined to be the best little flower I can be. See, Spirit has planted a garden in every one of us. And none of us is greater than the next. It is Spirit's perfection within us. We must come to a place where we trust Spirit has a reason for creating us the way we've been created and has planted us where we have been planted. That is just right for the one of us. Comparing ourselves to one another only makes us wither. When we become satisfied with ourselves, that's when we find true happiness. That is when we will shine. Namaste. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Mitch. That was awesome, as always. So now it's time for our joyful time of giving. And I don't know, do we have Kristen, are you going to get the basket out there? I'm going to trust Kristen or Tammy or someone will pass a basket around. And for those of you who are joining us virtually, we're going to bring up a few ways that you can give, texting, and so you'll see those on the screen. And then I'm going to have our practitioner of the day, Kathy Wilson, come up and do our joyful time of giving treatment. Do you want this on here?
So I invite you to take your offering, put it in your hand, set it next to your heart, and absolutely know that as you give, so you shall receive. And it is divine currency. It is divine energy that nourishes and supports all that is Amani. Each and every one of us are the light, are the energy of the one mind, the one spirit. And as we go forth in our day, be the light for everyone and everything, be it person, plant, animal, garden. All is energy, all is God. I know this is my truth, and as it is my truth, so it is your truth, because we are connected as one with that divine intelligence, that wisdom of the universe. So I release my word into the universal law, and it says, it is good. It is very good. Thank you, thank you. Thank you, God. Thank you, energy. Thank you, spirit, whatever you call it. Be grateful in your prosperity. That is a gift of giving and receiving. And together we say, and so it is.
One, two, three.
I release and I let go. Let the spirit run my life, and my heart is open wide. I am wholly here for God. No more struggle, no more strife.
Awesome. Thank you, Ascension. And thank you, everyone who showed up today and brought your light. We so appreciate you. If you would now stand with us so we can sing our closing song. And just a reminder that we will have our practitioner and ministerial intern, Mitch, and Kathy will be available after service. One will be on the stage, one will be out in the patio if you need treatment. And Tammy's out there too. If we have a big line, we got lots of people who would love to treat with you. So please take advantage of that. Okay, we're going to bring the words up on the screen, and please sing with us. 1, 2, 3, 4.
The presence is here. The presence is here. Love and spirit prevail on each face. The presence is here. Amen. The presence is here. And I will meet you in grace. And I will meet you in grace.
Deep breath in and let it go. Knowing that the presence of the one Spirit, the one being, by whatever word that you use, this grand organizing, designing principle that spins the planet, that beats all the hearts, that's breathing us right now, is the very point of love, of power, of grace, of wisdom. And that grace, that wisdom, that love that I am, that each and every person hearing my voice is. I speak into it now, this word, knowing that each of us is in the perfect place to shine our light, that we are there on divine assignment, to be the light, to be the hand, to be the heart, to be the voice of the high presence within. And I know that each of us moves forward with this message, with this inspiration, and that it feeds each and every person that has heard it to shine, to bloom, to rise, and to transform every corner of their lives as we collectively shine even brighter into a world that needs our light more than ever. And so I simply give thanks for a place called the Amani Center that allows us to remember the high truth and that supports us in this higher ground, and that comes together in community and creates a light even greater than it could individually. And so I simply rest in this word that I have spoken, knowing that it is already done perfectly, beautifully, powerfully, lovingly in the one. I release this word, and together we say, and so it is. Blessed be.